I'm also very grateful for federal investments that will expand upon and multiply the extraordinary work that's underway by CPRA through the Coastal Master Plan. And one such program that I am extremely excited to announce today is Louisiana Strategic Adaptations for Future Environments. And because that is such a mouthful, we just call it LA-SAFE, which is funded through HUD resources made available through the National Disaster Resilience Competition. LA-SAFE is rooted in the work of the Coastal Master Plan and acknowledges that adaptation and restoration and protection must go hand in hand. This is especially important considering that a few of our most vulnerable coastal communities will need to contemplate resettlement over the next 50 years, while others are likely to experience population and economic contraction as a result of ongoing land loss and sea level rise. And in fact, most troubling to me as governor is just a few years ago, I remember sitting in briefings and they talked about the best case scenario, the worst case scenario. In many cases, what we're looking at today is the worst case scenario from a few years ago is the most likely scenario that we face going forward. And this is disconcerting, and what it establishes, without a doubt, is that we are in a race against time in Louisiana. And we have to have a sense of urgency about coastal restoration and protection. And LA-SAFE is going to help. It's going to address community growth, contraction, and resettlement through a community-led process, outlining how conditions have changed in the past and how we anticipate that they will change going into the future. The $96.2 million award from HUD has allowed us to develop plans and policies initially for 6 parishes. They are St. Tammany, Jefferson, Plaquemines, Terrebonne, Lafourche, and St. John the Baptist. And $40 million of the 92.6, $40 million will specifically be dedicated to LA-SAFE. The resettlement of Ile de Jean Charles, a $48 million project under this initiative, will help the state create a national model for community resettlement. And so this idea about communities needing to resettle, that isn't just something way off in the future. We're actually doing that right now in Louisiana. With our partners at the Foundation for Louisiana, we are actively developing local, economic, and environmental partners to work towards addressing challenges and developing community-driven solutions to respond to these resiliency efforts. These challenges are some of the greatest ever faced in the history of our state, but the only way to confront them is head-on. The LA-SAFE planning process has been designed to be a multi-factored, inclusive process that is equitable. It addresses things such as literacy rates, language barriers, and the technical nature of information so that residents most affected by coastal land change can be involved in designing the methods by which they'd like to adapt.